I'm surprised it's not pouring rain with all the gray clouds in the sky. It is kind of bright though in certain spots. And what did I read today? I guess it was interesting reading this, where you read there's a lot of companies wanting to use things like drone delivery, but at the same time, it sounds like it's not working out for a lot of companies. This one says Amazon Prime Air loses 2 key operations leaders as drone delivery struggles to continue. Amazon has lost 2 executives key to the company's drone delivery operations, the latest setback for an aspirational program that's required hefty investment but has experienced scant success. Jim Mullen, Prime Air's chief pilot, left Amazon last month according to his LinkedIn profile. Robert Dreer, who reported to Mullen and was responsible for all of Prime Air's test operations, departed last week for a role at electronic vertical takeoff and landing aircraft startup Opener, he wrote at a LinkedIn post. Both employees were based at Prime Air's main site in Pendleton, Oregon. Their exits have not been reported on publicly beyond their individual posts, and neither responded to requests for comment over LinkedIn. Amazon declined to comment on their departures. So they do mention about the points on why it's not taking off. For one, it's things like regulations, because it says the drone unit has been hamstrung by regulatory restrictions that limit where deliveries can be made. Even at its 2 launch sites, Lockwood, California and College Station, Texas deliveries remain way short of division head David Carbon's target of 10,000 this year. Amazon says it has completed hundreds of deliveries at those locations. And then they talk about actual incidents, and it says here, there's also been a string of crashes with multiple reported incidents between 2020 and 2021. More recently, on June 21st of this year, during tests at the Pendleton site, a drone made an emergency landing in a field and was destroyed, according to a federal crash report viewed by CNBC. So that gets you to think too, so many people are concerned with kids flying toy drones and all that, yet here there's actual drone deliveries crashing here and there, but it doesn't make as big of a deal. But either way, for a lot of companies, it's not as profitable as they thought it would be so far, I guess. Although with that said, a lot of people aren't stopping and trying to explore the tech and its usage, and it was kind of interesting seeing this one, as this isn't your typical, I guess, quadcopter drone. This one says, drone program attracts national attention. The University of Alaska and the state are hosting a 3-day International Drone Aircraft Conference in Anchorage starting today. It will showcase how uncrewed aircraft can respond to emergencies, haul freight, and gather scientific data. Recent test flights have proven drones can replace traditional piloted planes. So by the sounds of it, they're basically doing various tests, and it's kind of interesting as they're testing, I guess, these huge control stations too, because it says, we're working on our handoff from one control station to another control station in preparation to fly what we call a ferry flight from Fairbanks to Nanaina. Wentworth said. Wentworth remotely starts the C-100 engine and it taxis down the runway. Liu says the flights comply with FAA regulations that require unmanned aircraft to remain in sight of the pilot. I think if you're going to do things like drone delivery or that line of sight stuff, you're going to have to, I guess, waive it for them, which to my understanding a lot of companies did get that permission. But either way, lots of people are exploring the tech, and it actually gets me to think too, because again, since this looks like a quote traditional manned aircraft in terms of design that what people are used to seeing, if people saw this flying over their head, even though it's a quote drone, would they be actually perfectly okay with this versus, let's just say, the traditional quadcopter look, which makes you think it's more about perception than actual, I guess, quote, safety in a lot of average people's minds. I guess that's what happens in terms of what type of media that you consume on a daily basis, huh? Perception does matter. And this was kind of interesting in terms of that topic of companies using other people's work per se to train its AIs. This one says Google's gonna do it unless you tell them not to. This one says Google says it will scrape publishers' data for AI unless forced not to. Google's Bard was originally based on the Lambda AI model but was upgraded to the Palm 2 model this year. Google has not revealed exactly what copyright data was used to train either Lambda and Palm 2. Google hungers for all that content produced by the wealth of digital publishers creating text, video, and images on a daily basis. To deal with the sticky copyright issues at heart of AI training, Google is proposing that all those companies who don't want their content gobbled up will need to, quote, opt out to ensure Google's open maw doesn't swallow all their juicy data. That seems kind of, I don't know, sketchy in a way. Wouldn't it be the other way around, which would be better, where people have to opt in? Because I can imagine this, by default, people are just going to leave it and they're just going to, I don't know, scrape everything as they say. But either way, just another example too, where I guess companies are going to do it. Do you care that they will be using, I guess, your work or even your own, let's just say, personal photos or whatever you publish online and all that, your voice, do you care if they use it in these ways? Interesting topic, I guess. Alright, see you guys later.